employees are applying for the leave, what type of vacation they are going, what type of leave they want, and that goes for a round of approval, and it could go to the manager, from manager to HR, and once HR approves, then it's you know confirmed in the database and things like that. Uh, so for this, what we typically, there are some terms and terminologies that we use, like absence type, absence plan, okay, absence reasons, eligibility rules. So these are all different ways in which we tie down the entire absence solution. All right. So absence type determines what type of absence is available in the application. Like, is it paid, unpaid, vacation, jury duty, and things like that. And absence type, we can have multiple assigned absence reasons, giving the reason for the absence. And we define eligibility rules for the same based on years of service or position or grade. We can say, okay, this person in such and such grade will get this, such and such grade will not get this, and things like that. Accruals will mean employees can accumulate their leave and carry over to the following year. So there are accrual rules also that can be set up when they expire, how much they can carry over, um, and you could have a matrix around how much and how to define the formulas and stuff like that. So we, before coming to this, see, this is like the, you can say, the absence management entire solution steps. Okay, so you have a manager login who will approve, employee login who will apply for the leave, and then the administrator will be doing all this stuff. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4. So step 1 is creating what we call as a derived factor or a eligibility profile. What is a derived factor? Derived factor means something which is not directly there in the system, but which you are calculating. All right. For example, for example, we have a derived factor, let's say years of service. Now, years of service as a figure is not stored in the system anywhere. It is calculated based on the date of joining of the person, right? So that derived factor is something that you will define in the system, and you will link to your absence plan to say this person, such and such people, so and so, such and such person is eligible for the particular plan, or we give him the particular plan. Similarly, you have eligibility profile. Eligibility profile means you can define rules. Like we were talking about the other day, smoker smokes tobacco, or you could have a gender related one, male, female, or what type of payroll eligibility, payroll, full time, part time, and there are n number of factors that can be used to create eligibility profile in the system. Now, once you create, these are one-time creations that we create, or as and when needed, we create these eligibility rules. Okay. And then we link them with our absence plan. So absence plan basically contains the different details about the plan. Okay, what type of absence is it? Is it maternity? Is it vacation? Is it a normal plan? Now, in some countries, they have started what we call as a donation plan, where employees can donate their leave. Suppose someone has 10 days extra leave that they are not using this year, they may decide to donate 5 of them to the common pool, where it can be utilized by somebody who needs those 5 days of extra. All right. So those are the absence plan. Along with the absence plan, we will link our eligibility profile, we'll link our derived factor, and we will define an accrual matrix. Means what is the rate of accrual of the leave. So it could be, maybe 2 days every month. So in a year, 12 months, so 12 into 2, 24 days of leave a person accrues in a year. Out of that, there might be a carry forward of, let's say, 10 days maximum. So if someone has 24 days of leave available at the end of the year, 10 days will be carried over. So 24 minus 10 is 14. Remaining 14 will expire if he does not use them. Are you following the accrual concept, or the expiry concept, depending on what the rules are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And absence type, we once this we have to define an absence type. The absence type basically has control over the contents, what the manager will see, what the employee will see, what kind of information they can attach, whether attachments are required or not. Maybe some documentation requirements are there, doctor certificate or a sick certificate. So all those things are defined in the absence type, and in step 3 we will link the absence type with the absence plan that we have created in step 2. Once these two are created, we attach the absence type to the we will link the absence plan to the person. Okay, through the person management window we'll go to absence record, and we will enroll the employee into the absence plan. Now, whether he is eligible for that particular plan or not, based on the derived factors eligibility profile that we have defined, we will see that particular plan in the drop down. If he is not eligible, then it will not show up in his drop down. And that is through the administrator login. Similarly, through the employee login, when an employee logs in, they will also be able to see the absence plans into which they are enrolled. Once they are enrolled, then the system will allow them to apply for leave against that particular absence. And once they apply, manager approves. If required, HR may also approve. Otherwise, once manager approves, it goes and hits the database, and it will reduce his outstanding balance. So there could be a running balance that you're keeping total. So like 24 days, that example that I gave you, every year you might be accumulating 10 days, or you're allowing transfer maximum of 10 days. So following year, he will get 24 plus 10 carried over, 34. So he, again, the rule could be that he can only carry over 10. So out of 34, 10 will be carried over. So 24. So 24 minus, he has to use up those 24 days. He can donate, or he can encash, or he can, just take those days of leave off and utilize those days. Are you following what the entire solution seems to be like? Pretty
I
straightforward, in
understand.
line with what we
Yeah.
do, right? So nothing new or extraordinary. We'll talk about the setups and all now. So let me first go into the system. It has become slow again, huh?
There's another password. Maybe we can try that. What he sent yesterday is slow. He sent one the day before yesterday.
All right. So first we'll see from an employee perspective how it is. Is the other one any better?
I'm checking, Saurabh. That has expired.
Oh, all right. So first of all, this is like, and when an employee is applying, we'll go to me right here. So under me, you will see all these options here. There's time and attend absences. So this as an employee, I'm going to apply for a leave of absence. Scroll down, you will see request time change or current time card, time calendar, team schedule. So based on all of this, you can see different actions here and time and absences. So this is the calendar. You can view the shift, absences, public holidays. Oh, log out, log in. This one for an employee, since the person ID is not tagged, it gives a error. So we'll have to log in as an employee. User ID linked to an employee. So let me switch. So again, I go to me and time and absences. So this, see, there is an absence balance, donations when you want to do uh, donate your absences, any existing absences you want to look at, add a new absence. So let's say I want to look at or I want to see absence balance. So this is the balance that the person has for each particular type of leave. So whether it is sick or vacation, if you click on vacation, you get to see. And this is the unit, whether it is tracked in days or in hours or how it is done. Okay. And what are the details year end and stuff like that. So there's no end to how much information can be provided. And so here you have the actions. So in case you want to add a new absence, click on actions, add absence.
Saurabh, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Usually, when you absence is tracked in days, right? The first time I'm seeing something tracked in hours. Because
Yeah,
how will
in
you keep
US
track of?
actually it is, yeah. US is very popular. US, UK, it is quite popular to track in hours.
Oh, okay. So, is there a place
You
where
can,
you have to go and declare how
yes,
you're going to track?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. So at the time of definition of the plan, you can choose whether it is going to be in days and or hours.
Okay.
So these are the different types of absence that you have. So if you are talking about, let's say, vacation, and then you can have a start date and end date. So start date and end date. So you could, this is the number of hours that the person has before this leave. And once he takes the leave, then the reduced one will be the projected balance, which will appear over here. So let's say I start with a particular date, and let's say it turns, it goes on till 12th or 13th. So depending on the number of days into hours, 8 hours a day. So it comes up with 72 hours. So once you do this, calculate the projected balance. Based on that, system will do the differential calculation, 210 minus 72. And once you're done, then you submit, goes to the manager for approval. This is the straightforward process of applying for leave. Okay.
So,
Yes,
did
sir.
it get calculated, Saurabh, automatically the balance?
Yeah, actually that link was not appearing. So once the link appears and if you hit it, it will do that calculation.
Okay, fine.
So if we now go back and look at, see, awaiting approval, this one, motivated. See, if this calculate button gets enabled, then you can hit it. See, and sometimes it does behave funky, this links may not get enabled. All right. And this is basically what is the entire process of applying for leave. There's nothing much here to, and this you can view the past history and how it is. And this one is something that was completed before. So in some cases they don't give you a total, but you it will just keep a running number, how many hours person has taken. So sick leave, sometimes companies say that okay, you can take sick leave as per your need, uh, based on justification and things like that. A lot of companies don't have a limit on how many sick days you can take. Clear? So this is as far as the employee doing the absence is concerned. The reverse can also happen. The manager could also be putting in a absence for the employee. He might have, employee might have reported sick or something happened to the employee and, he's not able to access or fill up his own absence request. So then the manager can go in and do the same thing for the employee, which is basically the My Team feature. So when you're looking at the My Team and then you can identify a particular person. So, all of these are here. So from here you can go and update the information. Where is absence? There should be one for booking time also. These are the absence. See here, add absence is over here. So next to SUI, the name add absence. So when you say add absence, you're doing it on behalf of SUI. So select which one you want. Let's say sick. This is again the start and end. And then you submit. All right. Any questions on this?
Saurabh, I kind of
Yeah.
forgot you explained to me in Global SCM, like how when someone applies for something, the approvals will go to the manager. So how do we define that flow? For
We will
example,
see.
yeah,
We haven't seen approvals yet.
but you already told me, right? Once, did you?
I told you once, but we will review that in detail. So there is something
Okay.
called as the BPM is there, business process management,
Huh,
and there is
okay.
a approvals where you can define what rules, who it will go to,
Okay,
and
fine.
whether it is FII and for your
Okay, okay.
information or some action is required. So
Okay.
that
I
is
thought I
the
forgot. Okay.
no, we haven't done that. So all right, any questions on this? Amba, okay? All right.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. So let's now go to our regular My Client groups. So under My Client groups, you will find the absences over here. Okay. So this is the place for doing all the plan definitions, absence types, absence categories, absence reasons. Everything is in one single place. So person management, this is for assigning the absences to the employee. And these are the different processes that are required. One for the transfer from one year to another year, and these are the absence reasons, absence certifications, plans, types, leave agreements, categories, and then formulas, rates, and derived factors is over here. Eligibility profile is over here. So let us first start with derived factors. Okay. So then we will talk about one by one the rest of it. So derived factor basically first is, like I said, what is a derived factor? Derived factor is something which is not held directly in the system, but you are deriving it in some manner. Okay, for example, length of service, age of a person, these values are not directly held in the system, isn't it? You have to derive it, you have to calculate it as of today or as of yesterday, as of last month. So based on those details, you will be seeing the particular value. So similarly here, derived factor, suppose I want to create a derived factor for length of service, I will have to go to length of service and then click on this create button over here. For each tab, there is a separate create button to create the respective derived factor. Okay. So let's say I want a length of service. Then I click on this create. And here, this like any other field, mandatory and based on what you need, you define them. So we'll say, let's say SP. We can give a name which will be explanatory, length of service, or 5 years. So here, unit of measure, how you are going to measure it. This will be 5 years, we are saying. So this is years greater than or equal to length of service. So if it is 5, you can say greater than or equal to length of, and less than then period start date. Okay. So from what date to use, that is from what date that calculation will be done of 5 years of service that we are talking about. What is the So let's say we want date of hire. Okay. And the determination rule is uh, when will you calculate that 5 years of service? When will you calculate that 4 years of service, 3 years of service? So determination rule is as of the event date, meaning when that particular person is taking leave, as of that date, you are giving the 5 years of service. Okay. So if required, if you are looking for creating more, then you say 5, save and create another.
Sort of, I didn't understand the range of values.
Okay. I'll show you another one. Let's say this is 10 years of service. Okay. So unit of measure 10 years greater than or equal to range of values. Okay. So let's say we wanted greater than 5, but less than 10. So that range can be defined. Okay.
Meaning when it should calculate, is it?
Yes. That means how many years of service? 5 years
10.
of service, but less than 10 years of service.
That is when it will calculate. Until then, it won't calculate. Is it like that?
No,
No.
it's not the case of calculation. At
Uh,
this point of time, we are saying
uh,
determine the length of service for a
uh,
person, which is
okay.
more than 5, less than 10.
If
Now,
it
I will use it later on to say if the person is between 5 years and 10 years of service, then I will give them 15 days of leave or 20 days of leave.
mm,
Okay. So what I do with derived factor is up to me, because in some cases the derived factors is not just for absences only. It can be used for other purposes also. For example, you want to give medical insurance premium or some compensation benefits, right? Those things when you want to give, you can also use derived factors.
okay.
So this 5 years, let me just change this to make it 0 and 5, or greater than equal to 1 year, at least 1 year of service, and less than 5 years of service.
If we don't give this also, it doesn't matter.
But how will it know how many years of service? When we are giving the name here,
Uh,
that is just a name that we are giving. It can be LOS 1, 2, 3, 4, like that also. So how will the system know that 5 years means exactly what?
maybe when you use it somewhere, I'll understand better.
Hmm. Amba, you understood this?
But sort of like here you have put 5 and 10. We can
Hmm.
put, I mean, we can give 0 and 10 also, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that means you are saying anybody between 0 to 10 years of service will get this.
Yeah.
Somebody between 10 to 15 years or 10 to 20 years of service gets this. Oops.
Sorry, I have a noise pollution here from my end.
No, that's okay, so long as you are safe.
Yes.
Reminds me of the action Hindi action movies, na? Now not just Hindi, but any Telugu, Tamil, all action movies. You have background noises coming. So this is the derived
Yeah.
factor. So let's say we look at a eligibility profile now. So what is the eligibility profile? Eligibility profile means we are determining what the person is based on his absence, his assignment related information. Okay, so who are the people who are going to be part of a particular plan or part of some benefit, part of some program that you are deriving? Let's say SP eligibility, say full time eligible. Okay, So we can give it a name, or we can give it, depending on where I want to use it, benefits, performance, so different things. Leave it as active. And what is my criteria that I am going to be using? This is all different things here. Okay, as you can make out, there are so many different things here, right? So now let us go to where shall we do it? Acha, employment. So under employment, we want to see okay, we can say create, and what is the order. Okay, if it is based on assignment status, I will choose it here. If it is based on hourly or salaried, I will click here. Then I will choose the plus. If it is assignment category, I will choose there. And I can choose multiple options here to determine my eligibility. Okay, so I will say sequence 10. Okay, and assignment status, you can say active, payroll, eligible. Okay, and you could have more than one also here. So maybe you want more than one assignment status, or in case you don't want the same multiple statuses, you could have one here and one in assignment category, and then you say plus and you say full time. So person has to be full time or part time.
What is the sequence, Saurabh? What does it signify?
Sequence is 1, 10, 20, 30. So you can, when you have multiple, you can decide which ones you are going to be using.
In which order is it?
Which order?
First, if you give 10 right for assignment status, so first it will check that eligibility
Correct.
criteria.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
fine. All right.
So we can say so many are there, right? So just pick up. Let's say full time or full time regular, we can say. So only people who have full time regular on their assignment category will be picked up. Others will not be picked up. All right. You're following this? So now our
Yes, sir.
eligibility profile is created. Now, if I want to search for it, and SP full-time eligible, if you click on view hierarchy, you get to see what has been used. Okay, the order we were talking about 10, 20, so they are in the, this one will be coming first, then this one will be coming. All right. Even when you are looking at an existing eligibility profile, this view hierarchy is pretty useful. It allows us to keep tab on what is happening. All right. So I guess no questions on this.
No, sorry.
No.
Good. So next we will get into the absence plan. So for this, we will come here. This is the absence plan. And under that, just like any other screen, create. So this is important, what type of plan that you are creating. Okay, so accrual plan, agreement plan, compensatory plan, donation plans, no entitlement, qualification plans. So let's say we are creating an accrual plan for now. Okay, and we could have a start date of uh, 1 120. Click continue. Okay, so now you see all aspects of the absence is to be defined here. For example, plan, what is the name of the plan? So let's say we call it SP WIC plan. Okay, and what is the legislative data group? Initially, keep it as pending, till you are completely done with all your setups, keep it as pending, because if someone by mistake picks up your plan and assigns it, and then you will not be able to make changes. So this is the plan unit of measure. Remember, you were asking whether it is hours or days. So you can say, you can choose whether you want it in hours, days, weeks, months, years, depending on your requirement. So let's say we have it in hours, and just use the mandatory ones more or less, uh, plan term. So from when does it start and when does it expire? So the normally, how is it done in your company? Is it on an employee start date basis or on a calendar basis?
It's calendar.
Calendar year. Okay, then it's fine. In some companies, they do it on an anniversary basis, that whenever your hire date anniversary is coming. So if you are hired on, let's say you joined a company on 15th November. So every year on 15th of November, your absence will get reset. Workers balance, when do you, so these were some of the balance options. Do you want it to display? Do you not want it to display? Yeah, these are just based on your preferences. You can switch them on, switch them off. Okay, calendar. Oh, sorry. If it is calendar, then we have to choose from which day of the year. So let's see, first day. So participation is basically who are the people who are going to be participating in your plan. So enrollment start date, when do you enroll people? As of the event or in the beginning of the, or you could have some formulas, or as of event. Waiting period, is there a waiting period? After so many months or days only you can join that particular plan. Do you want transfers? What happens to the transfers? Do you want to transfer the positive balance only, or not transfer negative balance? Some cases you may transfer negative balances also. So disburse positive balance, recover negative balances. So if someone has, then on employment termination, what happens? Disburse the positive balance or recover the negative balances. So someone, in some companies, they allow you to take more than number of days of leave that you are eligible for in the first month, right? In January, let's say you are doing something in January, some event is happening, marriage or some vacation, and you take up your 24 days that you are eligible for the entire year, right? Now, do we allow that? First of all, question is yes or no. Some companies do allow that, and subsequently they will say you have to work, and if you take more days off or end of the year, if it is a negative balance, they can recover it from your salary. Transfer rules from one year to another year. Enrollment rules, and this is the eligibility. Okay, remember we were talking about the eligibility, who are the people who are eligible and things like that. So you will see that eligibility profile over here. So SPFT So this was our name. So people who fulfill this eligibility profile will be assigned this particular plan. Clear? Okay. Next, we come to the accruals. Accruals is basically the the matrix that you can set up to say, okay, so many years of service or so many months, years, days, whatever your formula is. So you can set up your formula. So this accrual matrix, this is where you can set up your rules. So you can say create. So here this sequence is, let's say, 10. And expression builder, you can use this manually. So how this works is we are going to use the derive factor. So our derive factor is based on length of service. See, SP, so 5 years, SP 5 to 10 years. So we will say SP 5 years. I should have added it there. I said, okay. So okay. And then you say insert into expression. So here length of service is what you are checking here, if length of service, and then you can also have a operator. Okay. So what is your operators? You can say less than, greater than, equal to. Or you can say less than or equal to, insert into expression, and you can put a value. So that expression will be visible here. What is the accrual rate for those who are having 5 years of service? You say, let's say 15 days. So that is the rate at which they are going to be accumulating it. Next, you can create another one here where you will say 20 days, 20 sequence number. So the expression can again be derive factor. So let's say 5 to 10 years of service. Again, insert it into the expression and we say as with any other setup, if you have this done previously On pen and paper, it is easier to speed through this. Oh.
Sort of this accrual rate means you're saying that that is a limit for accrual, that they can't accrue more than 15. Is it like that?
Correct, correct. Yes.
Okay. If suppose I have um, more than 15 days, what will happen? It will just get deleted, is it?
You will see this is the accrual matrix. Okay, accrual matrix means in a year,
Huh.
if your length of service is between 0 to 5 years, you get
Okay.
15 days
Oh, you
only.
get 15 days.
15
Okay.
days of.
Oh, but you don't have to write whether that 15 days is sick leave or it is earned leave or
No,
cash.
this is part of a plan, right? So whatever plan he will apply
Mm.
against, that will
Mm.
apply. The rules of that plan will apply. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have a leave, if you have a sick leave, you have to set up a sick plan. If you have a vacation leave, you have to set up a vacation plan.
Oh, separate plans for everything. Okay.
Yes,
This is generic what you're doing
yes,
now. You're just to show
correct,
us.
correct.
Okay. Right.
So again. So let's say this one again. Okay. Now this one, it could accrue at a different rate based on the years of service. Okay. So we'll just stop at 2, and any entries and balances, these are the corresponding elements that you might have, which are used for transferring to payroll, disbursements, then donations is when you're donating leave from your kitty to the common pool, or you want to transfer to, usually there is now they have developed a concept, and you can integrate this with payroll processing also, transfer absence payment information for payroll processing. So if someone has taken more days of leave, you might have a policy where you will immediately deduct it, and subsequently he can accrue, that's fine. Or when he's leaving, you may deduct it. And then different rules, unpaid leave, so for those you might enable, for the others you will not enable, and so on. Okay. So this is the absence plan that we have created. Now against this plan, we will now next create a absence type. Now, when you're creating these different types of plan, you can have, things like, maternity plan, or you could have a vacation plan, you could have a sick plan, depending on how you want to define them. So let's now go to the absence type, and then we can, then we have, now before I go, let me just activate that plan also, the one that I just now created. Remember, initially it was not active. What was the name? Oh, statuses. So this is the VAC plan. Status is pending. Let's go and just make this from pending. I can make it active. Once this is done, we'll save and close it. Clear? Any questions? The next type, the next step would be like after your plan is done. So we have the absence type here. And so pattern is the generic maternity or illness injury. Let's say generic plan, since we are doing a vacation one. Now over here, there'll be a place where we will be linking the two, the plan and the absence type. So we'll say SP. Let's just call it vacation. Unit of measure is again hours. And legislative data group, US. So rest of it, as per your need, you may allow employees to update. So enable employee updates, manager updates, enable apps, administrative updates, lock if completed for employee, lock if completed for manager. What types of attachments will be allowed, files, links, mandatory if duration exceeds specific period. People say more than 3 days of leave, you have to give a compulsory doctor certificate. Then once this is done, next step is we go and link our plan with the type. Sometimes it does behave funky. Might have to save it and then this will get enabled. Mhm. Um, Sorry, why is this not coming? So usually what should happen is this plan and reasons tab should open up where you will be able to assign the plan. Okay. And what is happening? So this is the maximum duration for this particular one. Let's just enable this. See, now this display features has gotten enabled. Plan. Something is not working here properly, because once you click on this tab, the corresponding options should open up. You know? So let's see. Let me pull up an existing one and show you. When you try it, it should work for you. Have a search for it. So any of these that you have, you will find when we go to this plans and reasons. This tab should open up. There must be an issue on this page. Just log out and log in. Somebody's playing around with it. So absence types. See, now this plan and reason has come. So basically from here you will select the plan that you have defined. So SP VAC plan priority. So okay. So effective start date is from 1st of Jan. If you want to give any absence reasons, you can also give the absence reasons, and you will have to pick them one by one and add them to the rules. Or you can just, since it's a vacation one, you know it's holiday time, so you don't want to track any reason. And these are the display features through self-service, that is the me and manager who will see what. Okay, attachments, comments, reasons, who can for whom it is enabled, for whom it is displayed, for whom it is not displayed, qualified entitlements, approvals, processing rules. So these are all different options. Projected balances, do you want to enforce insufficient balance? Who can see it? Dates and durations. So all these are different things that are available for the enabling them at the user level. Action items is some actions that the person needs to take. It could be like, submitting a certificate or submitting some tickets or submitting some approvals or whatever, XYZ. So those could be the action items which you can include and link to your plan. Followed?
Yes, sir.
All right. So once this absence type is done, the next step is to go and assign this to the person. So we can go through the absence record, okay, or person management, and then go there, or we can come here. These are the direct reportees. Okay. So here plan participation. So this is where you have to first enroll the person. See, these are the plans that they are part of. Okay, vacation plan, sick plan, floating holiday. So over here, when you click add enrollment, SP vacation plan will be visible here. Okay. So based on this, and you say from what date you are enrolling the person into that plan. So maybe you want to enroll that person from 1st of July. So what is the current hours and all? So this will show up. Now, once you are done with this, once you have saved it, you know for which user you have given it, right? So for that user, you can log in through the application and do a submit to manager assignment, or you want to, even HR can add new absences. So you can say add absence. So this is now the employee is applying for that particular leave, right? So this is the SP vacation time. So this is the absence into which he will be applying, he or she will be applying. So it could be 1 day, more than 1 days. So let's say the person enrolled in July, let's say they are going in August for a week, 24th to 28th. So 45 hours of leave. Then you can do the submit. Okay. So there was a minimum limit and the hours, because the person has just been enrolled in July. So they may not have so many days accumulated leave for them to be able to do this. Okay. See, now the status is complete because the person is the administrator who submitted it. You can withdraw that also if it was done by mistake or the person changes their plan. They no longer want to go on leave. These are the action items, plan use. All these were part and parcel of what we were calculating and we were doing. So in some cases, you might want to give an upfront balance so that, the person is able to get some balance in that case, you can do these manual adjustments, at enrollment update the enrollment so you can have a balance also on that particular person. Uh, okay. Balance is 0 hours. 1611. So coming back to the slide, these are the steps that I went through. Kritika and Amba, don't give up.
No, sir. I mean, we have got, yeah, I've got it that we have to create plan first and then type, and then we have to
Yeah.
link that plan to type, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then we have to assign it to the user.
Correct. Correct. But when you give an absence, when you are enrolling or you are applying for an absence, you actually enroll for a type. So in the drop down, if you
Okay.
remember, there was SP vacation type.
Hmm.
But we enroll the person into the plan because type is more like the transaction. So the transactions are done by type. The plan is for enrollment.
Okay.
So derive factors and eligibility profile is basically to track your enrollment, who are eligible and on what basis they are eligible.
Okay.
Ritika, any questions?
No, sir, I have to go through the whole video again and try because so many things we've done now.
Yes, yes, yes. And actually, it's a full flow. So unless I complete the full flow, that's why I had to complete the full flow first. You also don't get a complete picture of what is happening.
Right.
If
And
I
there are
just
so
do
many things that can be done, I guess.
exactly. So don't get bogged down initially by what are all the different features. Don't worry about the different features. First,
Okay.
get a bare minimum plan in place.
Okay, sure.
Derive factors, keep it simple. Eligibility profile, keep it simple. You will get lot of chance in future to play around with all the different options.
Okay.
So keep your mind clear about what needs to be done.
Okay.
Tomorrow's class, I think, absence again, I will give you time to practice this first. I'm in no hurry, so that, I don't want to rush through also, because unless you practice this and you are
Mm.
okay with doing this, or you have doubts, we can definitely meet for clearing your doubts.
Sure.
Okay.
But I want to practice this first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what is going to happen other than this, the next one is to look at a qualification plan, which is like a maternity plan, or there is a donation plan. So these are all different types of plan only, but the steps are more or less the same. Only one list of value will change.
Okay.
All right, then I think today we will stop here. I don't want to prolong this for you guys, unless you want to try out something.
Saurabh, I have few questions on global HCM which I want to ask. So
Okay,
if Amba
sure.
wants to go, then I'll just quickly ask this question. Or if she
I'll listen to you. I mean, even I'll get, clear idea.
Sure, sure.
Sure, sure. So I was going through some frequently asked questions in interviews, and I had certain questions. I thought I'd just check them with you.
Sure.
One was, what are the different types of models that you have, or something like that? And the answer was on-prem, public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So what is public cloud and private cloud?
See, basically the model that we have, as far
Hmm.
as your just pause the recording here.